drive in. At the same time, she could see Mitchell and Laura, the two family friends sharing the villa with them for the summer, put down their mugs of tea and walk towards the stone steps that led to the shallow end. Laura, a slender giantess at 6'3", kicked off her sandals and waded in up to her knees. A battered yellow lilo knocked against the mossy sides, scattering the bees that were in various stages of dying in the water. "What do you think it is, Isabel?" Nina could see from where she was standing that it was a woman swimming naked under the water. She was on her stomach, both arms stretched out like a starfish, her long hair floating like seaweed at the sides of her body. "Joseph thinks she's a bear," Isabel Jacobs replied in her detached war correspondent voice. "If it's a bear, I'm going to have to shoot it." Mitchell had recently purchased 2 antique Persian handguns at the flea market in Nice, and shooting things was on his mind. Yesterday, they had all been discussing a newspaper article about a 94-kilo bear that had walked down from the mountains in Los Angeles and taken a dip in a Hollywood actor's pool. The bear was on heat, according to the Los Angeles Animal Services. The actor had called the authorities. The bear was shot with a tranquilizer gun and then released in the nearby mountains. Joe Jacobs had wondered out loud what it was like to be tranquilized and then have to stumble home. Did it ever get home? Did it get dizzy and forgetful and start to hallucinate? Perhaps the barbiturate inserted inside the dart, also known as chemical capture, had made the bear's legs shake and jerk. Had the tranquilizer helped the bear cope with life's stressful events, calming its agitated mind, so that it now pleaded with the authorities to throw it small prey injected with barbiturate syrups? Joe had only stopped this riff when Mitchell stood on his toe. As far as Mitchell was concerned, it was very, very hard to get the arsehole poet, known to his readers as J.H.J., Joe to everyone else except his wife, to shut the fuck up. Nina watched her mother dive into the murky green water and swim towards the woman. Saving the lives of bloated bodies floating in rivers was probably the sort of thing her mother did all the time. Apparently television ratings always went up when she was on the news. Her mother disappeared to Northern Ireland and Lebanon and Kuwait, and then she came back as if she'd just nipped down the road to buy a pint of milk. Isabel Jacobs' hand was about to clasp the ankle of whoever it was floating in the pool. A sudden violent splash made Nina run to her father, who grasped her sunburnt shoulder, making her scream out loud. When a head emerged from the water, its mouth open and gasping for breath, for one panicked second she thought it was roaring like a bear. A woman with dripping waist-length hair climbed out of the pool and ran to one of the plastic recliners. She looked like she might be in her early 20s, but it was hard to tell because she was frantically skipping from one chair to another, searching for her dress. It had fallen onto the paving stones, but no one helped her because they were staring at her naked body. Nina felt light-headed in the fierce heat. The bitter-sweet smell of lavender drifted towards her, suffocating her as the sound of the woman's panting breath mingled with the drone of the bees in the wilting flowers. It occurred to her she might be sunsick, because she felt as if she was going to faint. In a blur, she could see the woman's breasts were surprisingly full and round for someone so thin. Her long thighs were joined to the jutting hinges of her hips, like the legs of the dolls she used to bend and twist as a child. The only thing that seemed real about the woman was the triangle of golden pubic hair glinting in the sun. The sight of it made Nina fold her arms across her chest and hunch her back in an effort to make her own body disappear.